Thank you for joining us today for Music Marvels with Achickwitbeatz and Breezy Gipson. We're glad that you decided to join us. We got another great show lined up for you. Joining us later is Nova the Bully. So we got that interview coming up. We've got music industry news and, of course, beats by yours truly.
Oh, man, it's the beats, man. It's the beats. That's what's happening. It's the beats.
All right, so we're going to dive right in and let's do this.
Let's do it.
right. Thank you so much for joining us on Music Marvels with Achickwitbeatz and Breezy Gipson today. We're so excited to announce to you that we have the one, the only, super talented Nova the Bully in the virtual building with us today. How you feeling?
I'm great. How about you guys?
Good, good. We're excited to have you. And, we just want to let the audience know who you are. Tell us who is Nova the Bully, all the way from the beginning of your name to when you fell in love with music, and just kind of walk us through the early years.
Oh my God, that is a long story, but let me see. I went by a few names before I got to Nova the Bully. Nova the Bully means a lot to me. Basically, I started off like with a R&B story, kinda. I was in the kids choir at Mount Zion Missionary Baptist Church. I'm a downriver kid. I'm from Ecorse, lived in Taylor. Let me see. When high school, I was in advanced choir, and it got to the point to where, that's when I started getting in trouble or whatever. And it got to the point where choir was the only class that I went to. I literally would skip every other class except for choir. That's how much I loved music. I traveled around with the choir and things like that. Fast forward, I ended up getting kicked out of high school and, turned to other things. And that's when my fascination for rap came. It was actually an accident. Just being around some people and doing what we do. And I was just playing around with it, lyrically or whatever. And next thing you know, people start saying like, yo, like, you dope. Like, why you not doing this for real? And I'm like, man, ain't nobody trying to rap. Like, rapping wasn't something that, we was trying to get money. Rapping wasn't something that we was thinking about doing, So, just went from there and went through that awkward phase of trying to find names. I'm not going to go down that embarrassing list. But, Nova the Bully, actually, I'm like really into acronyms, like Nova, like when I first got that one, it was #1 valuable asset. And I was just Nova for the longest. It was actually Swag and Nova, but then people started using that swag thing to death. So I went on there and cut that out. And the bully came because coming up, I actually was, a victim of being bullied as a kid. And it made me angry growing up. And it turned me into a bully. But the difference was I was the one that was bullying the bullies. I would never prey on, like the innocent or women and children and things like that. I was the one that was gunning for the people that was like me or worse. So then, fast forward to that, like one day I guess I had my coming to Jesus meeting. And, I asked myself like, yo, like, it's time to get your act together, man. Like, what are we doing? Like, why do you do the things you do? And, basically my answer myself was like, I was afraid and I didn't have much self-love and stuff like that. And the bully actually fit because for me, the bully means being unafraid, learning to love yourself. Mm-hmm. And not only that became my name, but it also became a brand, the bully brand and stuff like that. And I'm an advocate for mental health and everything like that, so actually being a bully saved my life. I know that probably sounds weird, but I wanted to take the negative and turn it into a positive, and that's what I did. And that's what I do to this day. But as far as like my people I listen to, I grew up in a home where you could hear everything from like the Motown sound to the blues, Muddy Waters, things of that nature. Then growing up in Taylor, I'm saying? Like I got a whole different, I became, like a whole different genre. Like I was into Metallica, the Cranberries, all kind of stuff like that. And actually all those different genres like helped shape who I am as an artist today. I kind of take a little bit from everything and just kind of, I'm a spitter. Like, like rapping is that's my thing. But, you know, I know notes, and, you know, being in choir helped me out with that. And I know melodies and things like that. So it helps me make the best music I can, you know?
Absolutely. Man,
really eclectic.
Yeah, that's really awesome that you mentioned that, because, you know, that's something that a lot of people kind of take for granted is, so, you know, you can love hip hop as much as you want, you can love R&B as much as you want, but the more diverse your listening experience is, the better your music can become. And, you know, it's definitely very fitting, you know, for the amount of talent that you have. It makes sense that you have such a diverse background.
Oh, thank you. I even rock with the Dixie Chicks. Like I really go in there.
That's what's up. Are you hearing all this wonderfulness? I love hearing the origin story, don't you, Breezy?
Oh yeah. You know, and that's some solid stuff. I mean, I'm enjoying every moment of hearing all of that. You know, there's sometimes there's walls that are there that folks don't go past the wall, or they allow themselves to get closed in, and, you know, so they can't really breathe or inhale any other outside music. But the fact that you did, see, I'm all with that.
See, you know, for me, like I felt like ever since I was a kid, you know, I've always felt boxed in, and I say that because, like, I grew up in a household where, you know, my grandparents came from the South. They would have, you know, how it was back in the day. They came from the South, moved to Michigan for a better life, things like that. And my grandfather, you know, God bless his soul, but my grandfather was a hustler. You know, he dabbled in everything. He did the street lottery. He was a loan shark. You know, he did some of everything. So I grew up in a household with a lot of illegal activity that I thought was legal. Like it was going on so you know, it was going on around me so much, it becomes your life. You know what I mean? Like it just becomes who you are. But I was so boxed in and being you know, like one track minded in a sense, and just being one way, that once I finally was able to break out on my own and understand different things, like music literally saved my life. Just hearing so many different origin stories and listening to so many different genres, you know, I realized that no matter what color you are, no matter what kind of music you make, if you really listen to the lyrics, it's all the same. It's a lot of pain, and that's what I was going through back in those days. You know, it definitely helped me cope. You know, so the music that I listened to and the name that I chose, I felt like that was God's way. I felt like, you know, that was him speaking to me, telling me that this is what I needed to do. So honestly, everything that I went through, whether it be bad or good, I'm appreciative of it. I'm glad it happened, because if it wasn't for that, you know, I wouldn't have a story to tell, and I wouldn't be who I am today.
Yeah, that's incredible. And I definitely want to thank you for being so open and transparent about that and sharing your story with all of us. So, you know, you had mentioned before about how you're an advocate for mental health and, you know, how it's helped you cope. Do you have any advice out there for, you know, any artists out there listening right now that
Absolutely.
maybe thinking about that? Yeah.
This is my thing with that. I was one of the ones who grew up with, you know, keeping things to yourself, keeping everything boxed in. But I learned that like, I don't throw the crazy word around. I don't believe in that. But if you do that, that is what makes you lose your mind, keeping it to yourself. Mm-hmm. It's okay to find you somebody to talk to. You know, I tell the people of color who were always worried about, you know, the wrong things, I tell them it got thousands upon thousands of African American therapists out there, whether they be male or female. Stop making excuses. Find somebody that suits you. I've been through a few of them before I found the one that I was comfortable enough talking to. Like, I've had the diagnosis. Like, people ask me all the time, they say, man, like, you know, like, thank you for sharing your story. You know, I get inboxes all the time, people saying thank you and how my story helped them and stuff like that. And, you know, it's weird hearing it, because, you know, I'm only human. But I think the thing is, people don't expect me to be as open and honest about it as I am. I don't have anything to hide. You know, people be like, damn, man, like, you just come out and say that kind of stuff. I do, because I wish somebody could have been open with me when I needed it. So who am I to keep the information from anybody else? So I say this: if you feeling any kind of way, whether it be, it don't have to be suicidal, but if that's how you feel, get somewhere and talk to somebody. It's okay. I'm not I don't do drugs, but if you prescribe them and needed to help you, man, do it. Like, it's not something that you got to be on forever. It's a possibility you can be on them. It can mellow you out. And you can, and just so happen, it may mellow you out to the point to where you find your calling in life. Because now your head is quieter. You're able to focus more. And you may find something that you've been looking for. Or maybe you didn't even know you were looking for, but something may find you. And that helps to balance you out without the medication. But you need to start. My thing is this: bully your fears. Stop being afraid, because I feel like fear is the number one component for failure. Because if you are afraid, you won't push forward. If you don't push forward, you will not succeed. That's my take on it. And it's my take on it because it's what I've been through in my life. Like, I bump my head so other people can duck. Like, I wish I had that information. My thing is, don't be afraid. If you need to talk to somebody, talk to somebody. If you need to find somebody and cater that somebody to you, do the research. It's really not that hard. It got people out there, but like my Instagram is the Billionaire Bully. Hit me. If you need some help with something, I'll be glad to give you the information that I know. I don't care where you are. We can find something. Or, if I don't know the information, I'll gladly find it for you. I'm just here to help, because I've been diagnosed with the bipolar ones and this, that, and the other, and feeling like I was crazy. And I knew I felt different. And, I became recluse, and, I didn't want to be around anyone, not even family. Some days I found myself not being able to even get out of bed, to do anything. Take a shower, brush my teeth, whatever. I know that sounds foul, but it's the truth, and I'm here to give you the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just didn't have a drive to do anything, but I had to get out of that box, and I had to find myself some help. And once I did, honestly, it's the best I've ever felt in my life. I got back in the gym. I fell in love with the music all over again. I've learned how to handle, take care of my business a lot better. Just being more focused, man. Just being more focused, more level head. And that's all because I had to, step out of that box. I had to stop pigeonholing myself. I had to stop being afraid that somebody was going to judge me. I mean, who gives a damn what somebody else think about you? Because at the end of the day, all you got is you. Those people that so-called, quote unquote, judging you, they're not the ones putting money in your pocket. They're not the ones feeding your family. They're not the ones rubbing your back when it's sore. They're not the ones, that you coming to for information and stuff like that. So if they're not helping you no kind of way, or feeding you no kind of way, or nothing else, then why care? The kind of label they put on you? Who cares about a label? You know what I mean? Like, that's not something that I get into anymore. But that could have something to do with my, with me being more mature and older in age, But hey, I'm there, and I'm here to help anybody who needs to get there.
That's real. And before, I know Breezy's over there burning with a question, but before I let him go ahead and ask, I just want to thank you for being so open and honest about that, because, there's a lot of our listener base that are artists, and that's something that artists struggle with all the time.
Absolutely.
And so, by you, leading by example and sharing your story, I know for a fact you're helping somebody that's listening. And I just salute you for that. And so, I'm going to turn it over to Breezy for him to ask you a question. But real quick, I got to kind of backtrack. He said,
go ahead.
Bully your fears. I just need to make sure everybody heard that. So I'm kind of verbally underlining that there. Bully your fears. I love that. Mm-hmm. Breezy.
Yeah, that's strong. And now you said that you were coming alive again, and you were starting to rediscover a lot of things. So now, at the point Okay, share with our listeners that point about rediscovering music. Okay, so now was that through hearing radio, or was that through your ability to be around others and do creative things? And you say, well, yeah, I'm getting back. I'm feeling my old self now. I'm okay. So just share whatever direction that was when it came to rediscovering your touch with music.
Okay. Well, to be honest with you, I can't say I'm feeling my old self. I feel better than my old self. You know,
okay.
And basically, I rarely listen to the radio, but I got kids, so my kids always walking around here, singing something new, and so I pay attention to that, because like no matter what, the music is in me. Being a creator is in me. So I'm hearing the different melodies and hearing the different keys and stuff like that, and I'm listening to my kids sing stuff, and I'm like, oh, like, what's that? And they say, oh, well, Dad, just such and such. And I go and do the research, look it up, and I noticed something like, like everybody talk about how bad the music is now, and mumble rap this and this, that, and the other. That is so false. Like this, like don't get me wrong. I mean, it was whack stuff in the 90s. You know what I mean? Just like you got stuff now that you may consider like that's maybe not the best. But like it's just like a door has opened up, musically, and has given people who wouldn't normally have a chance at this stuff. And I think that's great, and then like just being able to hear things with a fresh pair of ears, and feel like, hearing like the new stuff that's out, I mean, I know Future not new, but like the Futures and the Babies and the Little Babies and all that stuff like that, like those dudes really dope, like just being able to put myself in a position of where I come from and listen to where it is now, like it just kind of wakes you up a little bit. And I'm like, yo, like it's some real good stuff out here. And it gives me that motivation to like get back to it. Like, yeah, it's just like it's a breath of fresh air, honestly.
Yeah, that's really good to hear too, because like you said, there are a lot of generalizations with some of the new stuff that's out, but once again, it goes back to that diversity that we were talking about earlier. So yeah, it doesn't even necessarily have to be different genres, but even listening to the different subgenres can help us. That ain't just being stonewall against, especially for those of us who came up in the 80s, 90s era, golden age, we tend to be really critical. But yeah, he brought up some very, very good and valid points that people
just need to stay in their lane, do what works for them. If what you hear don't work for you, don't do it. You know what I mean? Like let's be honest, I'm 42 years old and I have a core fan base. A friend of mine, I call him my little bro, he said something. He said, man, you got like a cult-like following. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yo, like I never really, you don't really think of stuff like that, but it's like, I still listen to everything. I don't care what it is, like if I like it, I like it. I can't help it. Like I'm not gonna sit here and ask myself why I like it. If it's great music, it's great music. I'm gonna listen to it. Mm-hmm. That's how I feel about it. You just gotta stay in your lane. I mean, let's think about it. Don't nobody want to hear me make a throat baby, so you'll never hear that from me. You know what I mean? So I do what I love to do for the people who love to hear it, and pretty much at the end of the day, that's it. And if I make a new fan doing it, great. If not, I still got a whole lot of people that love what I do.
That's what's up. So, before we get ready to wind down, because time is kind of staring us in the face, I'm going to let Breezy ask you the final question of this interview. But okay. If you could take this time to kind of shout out your social media information, your music platform information, so the listeners know where to come find you. I know you had mentioned Instagram, but if you could do that again for anybody that might have missed out on that.
Yeah, my Instagram is Billionaire Bully. My rap name is Nova the Bully, NOVATHE BULLY. I am on every platform you can think of. So if you don't got Apple, you got Tidal, you don't got Apple, it doesn't matter. Just type in Nova the Bully and you'll find my whole catalog.
All right, that's what's up. Make sure you do that, everyone.
Okay. And so now, here we go, approaching April 1st. Okay. So now that means we got like 8 more months left in the year after that. So what type of plan of action, where do you see yourself with what you're doing in 2 months, 4 months, 6 months? Where do you see yourself by New Year's Day? Are you looking to collaborate with others? Are you looking to be in your space in a creative flow only for you? Or just share with the listeners just where you think you'll be, or what's the plan?
Honestly, I'm focusing a lot more on the business side of things. I'm never gonna let this music thing go. I just told somebody, I'm like, I'm not finna be dropping a whole bunch of albums this year. I said I'm gonna drop a few singles, still do some features. You know, I definitely want to work with some talents out there, new talents, old talents, whatever. So yeah, I'm definitely looking to branch off into doing something like that, working with more people, shooting some more visuals, you know, just making more great content, and definitely focusing on the business, you know, getting the Bully brand where I want it to be. You know, that's with, you know, the clothing and all kind of stuff like that. It's just a lot of different things that I'm focusing on to branch out on, you know, and I even want to do some acting, you know, so I'm trying to get my foot off in a lot of different areas.
Yeah, well, you know, that's a well-rounded view, I think. And Achickwitbeatz and I both know a drummer who has branched off into acting, and next thing you know, every time we turn around, there's some other things happening. But, you know, he's such a great musician, but see, that's pulling him, and it's broadening his view, but broadening the world's view of him as well. So, you know, I wish you nothing but success, man, and I think you can do it. I can hear the determination in your voice, and so just wishing great things come your way and continue to come your way.
I appreciate you. The same to you too. I definitely thank you for having me. I just want to shout out a few people if I can.
Absolutely. I just want to shout out my business partner, J Will, Massive Empire. That's our label. I want to shout out the Dreadnoughts. Those are my brothers. My sisters, Coco Butterfly. My other producers, I already mentioned J Will, Mike C. You know, that's all my brothers, man. I appreciate everybody for standing by me when I was down, and you know, helping me through it and helping me through things, and just being phone calls away. You know, I really appreciate everybody for that. All right, that's what's up. You know, it's great to have people on your team that look out for you like that. And you know, speaking of which, we're here for you too, so this is definitely an open platform. We'd love to have you back sometime in the future, because we've definitely enjoyed, you know, having you on today. So yeah, if you're willing, this doesn't have to be a one and done. You can come back and join us again.
I would love to. Oh, and Thermo Flame. Don't let me forget Thermo. He'll kill me.
There you go, Thermo.
Yeah. But no, I would love to. Anytime. Anything, even if it's not about music, whatever we can speak about, I'm here.
All right, that's what's up. Yep. So yeah, we definitely thank you for your time, your intelligence, and, you know, just sharing your energy with us. We appreciate it, and can't wait to have you back soon.
I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Man, that was really good to have Nova the Bully with us. You know, just good times, good energy, and I really enjoyed that.
You know what, man? Nova's a bully, man. Nova's a bully.
All right, we're going to get back to some music, and then we'll be back with music industry news right after this.
Okay.
And we are back. Grammys were a big deal last weekend for the music industry news. So, if you're looking for a little more detail outside of that, we definitely have it. But one of the big things that probably should be mentioned about this past weekend's Grammys was the viewership was a little bit different. So apparently 97.9% of people from 18 years old up to 49 years old did not tune in. This has been the lowest number that they've ever seen for the Grammys.
Well, there are some other reasons now, so which we'll get into at another time, such as the C word competition. And on my way to find that broadcast, I found a couple of other music-oriented productions that really caught my eye. And I said, wow. So that just put that flag up saying, competition is thick. It's really thick.
It really is. There are a lot of choices for the viewers these days. And, there's been a lot of disgruntled viewers over the years just because of some of the inequality and stuff that we've been seeing, both for people of color and also for women. And so, apparently there were some wins to kind of offset that a little bit this year. We'll see if that trend continues or not. But for right now, the people are not tuned in. And it appears that Grammys might not be the metric that it once was. You got to trust your ear. You like what you like. It doesn't matter if someone wins awards for it or not. Good music doesn't always get recognized the way that it should. But then sometimes it does. So kudos out there to the Grammy winners that should have gotten Grammys and either did or didn't.
Well, I'll to that end, I will say towards the end of the broadcast, I did see some faces, and my ears did recognize or receive some musical flow that I thought was very interesting and uplifting from some of the younger folks. So, you just never know what happens.
Yep, indeed. All right. And Amazon Music is now offering in-app merch as a part of Amazon Music, so they're in competition with Apple and Spotify. And so they're trying to do some big stuff for artists. So, make sure you keep an eye out that either, for yourself or just as a fan of the music. So you know, a lot of people who have Amazon Music also have Prime. And so, you know, that's how most of us were actually acquainted to it. And, you know, so if that's something that you're into, make sure you check that out.
Yes, yes. And I got to say this, you know, as you mentioned, competition. Well, you know, a lot of folks that enter into the music industry, especially the younger folks, you know, it's not a competition thing, it's a talent thing. You know, they want to share the talent that's been given to them, the talent that they were born with, the talent that they're developing. And they don't look at it as a competition with other folks, and I try not to myself in that regard, but at the end of the day, you know, when there's so much new music coming out all at the same time, sometimes it does boil down to a competition, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, I like not to look at it that way, but at the end of the day, sometimes it still boils down to a competition.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. You know, just like we were mentioning, you know, there's other things that people could have been doing for entertainment. That's true for music as well. So, you know, they could choose a podcast instead of a song, or, you know, there's people have options. So, yeah, the best thing to do, especially if you're an artist, is to make sure that you give them a reason to make sure that they do choose you and that they're delighted every time they do.
That's right. That's right.
All right. Now, this story is pretty interesting. There were two men that are going to jail for 7 years for impersonating Wu-Tang and ripping off 19 businesses. They've used fraudulent credit cards to rent limousines and fraud hotels and everything so they could look more important than they actually were. But, you know, basically going around pretending to be Wu-Tang and management to book shows that they had no rights to be booking.
You know, that's almost like the ultimate flam, man. Mm-hmm. And that's got such a bad vibe, you know, trying to go for the gold, and you're doing the fraudulent stuff, man. I mean, come on, man. Come on.
Yeah. And so, you know, the thought process is that perhaps they were trying to take advantage of the fact that Wu-Tang had so many members and affiliates that, you know, some of these businesses might not know that they actually weren't linked up the way that they were. So, you know, it's a heads up to any artists who are also promoters. You know, when you're trying to book a show and maybe you got a big name act to, you know, bring more people in, make sure that you're talking to who you actually need to be talking to, so that way you don't get taken advantage of.
How about that? Oh, yeah.
Yes, and also in taking advantage of people, Anita Baker has asked her fans not to stream or buy her music right now because she's battling for her masters. So she said that she's outlived her contracts. So the length of time that she was supposed to be with her label has surpassed. Like, she's older than that. And so now she's saying that her copyright should have reverted back to her, which is true after 35 years. So she's in the process of, you know, making sure that that actually happens. So as of right now, she doesn't own her masters. She was cool with not owning them for that time period. But once that time period lapsed, she's saying, give me my money. So if you're an Anita Baker fan, don't stream it through Tidal, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, wherever you listen to music. Don't stream it right now because she's not getting the money that she's owed. So, you know, just wait till things get taken care of in court. And that way she'll be able to reap the benefits of all of her hard work.
And believe it, when that does happen, we'll be the first to let you know.
Absolutely. The U.S. has surpassed 75 million paid music streaming subscriptions. So, you know, initially, and this is just kind of, you know, outside of the official news area, but, you know, you used to hear a lot of people on social media clamoring about how they didn't want to pay for Pandora. They didn't want to pay for Spotify. Like, most people were just sticking with the free tiers of everything that actually offered it. So, you know, we can see now that things have changed. So 75 million paid prescriptions or subscriptions is a good thing. And, you know, kind of interested to see where it goes from there, because there's still a lot of potential there. Although that's a lot, if you think about how many people there are in the country, there's still room for that to grow.
Well, you know, I got to throw it in right now because, you know, this is the news. And this is also a really strong news bit right here. If you're a hip hop artist, we got a beat spot. If you're in the rap game, we got a beat spot. If you're a singer or a dancer, we got a beat spot. Any kind of entertainer, if you visit Achickwitbeatz.com, there's a whole plethora of different songs, beats, and stuff already made waiting for you. So all you got to do is go there, Achickwitbeatz.com, thumb through the selection, take a listen, and hey, your next big hit could be waiting for you with one of these songs in there. So again, Achickwitbeatz.com, it might be the solution that you're looking for.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. So, it's what I do. You get samples of it all throughout the show. So, whether it's just the music playing or what's playing in the background behind us now, I try to make sure that I have variety out there. So no matter what your taste is, I got something for you. All right. And other big news for artists, ASCAP collections rose to $1.3 billion in 2020, despite the pandemic. So this is a really good thing because, of course, they weren't getting the money that they were getting from live venues. So, more people were streaming, and, that's a good thing because that helps artists out. So, positive tidbit. There's still money in music. And speaking of money in music, if you've been paying attention to any kind of music industry news, publication, be it Pitchfork, Billboard, Rolling Stone, all of these have been reporting about NFTs, and how it's the next big thing for music. And this could possibly be. But, just a little bit of background in case you're not familiar. NFTs stand for non-fungible tokens. So, most of us have heard of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. This is kind of like that, but instead of just having a value of money, it also has something else attached to it, something that's like one of a kind, hence is what makes it non-fungible. It's not like somebody else can replicate the same thing. So the current trend that's been happening is artists have been offering NFTs with their stuff connected to it. So maybe it's new merch connected to the NFTs that they're selling. So merch that you can only get if you buy the NFT. It could be music attached to it. It could also be art. So there's a big world of possibilities here. But anytime you start hearing these major publications talk about it in the amount that they have been lately, it's always something to be kind of careful of. Make sure that you have the full picture before you decide to go ahead and jump into anything. But, it's our duty to give you a heads up. And so far in the past month, NFT sales have went over $25 million just in the past month. So, it's a big boom. If that's something that you're interested in doing or trying to think about using that as a possibility, definitely check it out, especially because there's, been some scuttlebutt going on saying that there's belief that the future of live music will be a hybrid. So, especially as things kind of start to get back to normal from the pandemic, some people have decided that maybe it's easier to be at home and watch a concert, all cozied up in your basement with a few friends over, as opposed to going out and trying to find parking or whatever. There are other people who can't wait to get back out, going to live shows. So you're going to have these two groups of people that you could actually be getting money from. So, pre-pandemic, they probably would have just stayed home. Maybe you wouldn't be streaming your concert anywhere. But now that this has happened, you technically have access to two different kinds of audiences. So this is something, to keep in mind, especially with the NFTs. If you're going to be streaming, you might have some fans that, want to have something special that they know not many other people have. So, if there's something that you're interested in looking at and seeing, if the potential is there for you, then by all means, make sure you check it out.
Check it out.
All right, we're gonna get back to some more music before we get ready to head out for the night. Okay, and we are back. That wraps it up for this week's edition of Music Marvels with Achickwitbeatz and Breezy Gipson. One thing that I should mention before we go is that the grants coming for venues are happening in April. So, you know, what Congress passed last year for the Save Our Stages, that money is finally coming. So hopefully the venues that need it will get the relief that they need next month, and we can start preparing to head back out and enjoy shows in person like we did once upon a time.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm looking forward to that, and pretty excited about that happening.
Yes. So, all right, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. We'll be back next week, same time, same place. Tune in, tell a friend, and we'll see you then. Peace.
Peace.